Very good afternoon. And today's our talk is on prepositions. Our talk is on prepositions. Let's see what are these prepositions and the importance of these prepositions. As I told you earlier, for certain topics, you take it for granted they're going to occur at the time of any competitive exam, and not only for that, and we the one when we are in the position to learning a language, even we have to be very careful when we are writing or when we are dealing with these prepositions. Prepositions are the one which actually connects the relationship between noun and other parts of the sentence. They're going to express the what kind of link that they have, what kind of relationship that they have. So that is what they're actually going to discuss. That is what they're actually going to tell when it comes to this topic. And we're going to see how many prepositions are there. Means not, I'm not going to give you the word list, but I'm going to tell you how many types are there in prepositions. If I'm not mistaken, you might not be knowing this one. There are going to be three types, and how are these prepositions are actually useful and how we're going to use them. And also we're going to see some of regular prepositions that we use in our daily life and their meanings, where we actually use them. For example, when it comes to in, most of us not if I'm not mistaken, most of us might not be knowing where to use exactly this preposition in and at, on, off, and off. Most of the people are getting confused when it comes to this one, and some of them getting confused where they don't know actually where to use these things. And I explained, and we're going to see, and I'm going to explain you where we're going to use this OF of and OFF of, and where we're going to use this on, at, and in. So let's see how these things are going to be useful for us in learning a language and as well as a part of your curriculum. Yeah. So as I told you earlier, prepositions are very important. Let's see what these prepositions actually stands for. Why are we supposed to use these prepositions? And we're going to see more about these prepositions in the slides that we're going to present, that we're going to see. See here, what are these prepositions? Why are we supposed to use them? And what is the need of these prepositions? I'm telling you one thing here, as you're observing. So prepositions normally, in a sense, in any sentence, you take it for granted, in any sentence, these prepositions are actually happens to occur, are actually placed before a noun or a pronoun. Why they're going to occur before these things? In order to express what kind of relationship that the words or that these words are having in a sentence. So to have or to in order to express the relationship. So if we are not going to have that, it's not going to make it any sense. So in order to tell the relationship between the words which are in the sentence, we the one who's supposed to use these prepositions. As you are seeing here, Vicky is working on the PC. So on is the one which actually called as prepositions. If I'm going to ellipse this one, if I'm going to remove this one from this sentence, this is how it's going to be. Vicky is working on Vicky is working the PC. It's not making any sense if I don't place this preposition over there. So that's the reason when I am placing this preposition in this sentence saying Vicky is working on the PC, it is actually expressing the relationship between these words, working and as well as the PC. And see here, Philip is good at English. If I remove this at, which is so-called preposition, this is how it's going to be. This is how it's going to sound. Philip is good English. Do you really think that it's making sense? Any sense over there? It's not. It's not going to make any sense. So for which I have to place the preposition at over there, which is, this is how it's going to be framed. So Philip is good at English. See how beautifully it sounds. And next, she is angry with me. With is a preposition. So remember, as I told you earlier, as we discussed earlier, so these prepositions are exclusively used to express the relationship between the words in a sentence. For that sake only we use these prepositions. What if we don't going to use these things? So they sound too R. So that's the reason. So we the one who's supposed to use these prepositions in order to express the relationship in the sentences. Got it? So let's see. If I'm not mistaken, you might have not taught this type of thing before, and I want to give a crystal clear clarification, the topic that we are going to deal, right? So as you're seeing here in this slide, we're going to discuss, do we have kinds of prepositions? Of course we have. But the thing is here, we weren't aware. That's it. Only that is the thing. So the prepositions were actually divided into three types. The first one is here, simple prepositions. And second one is here, compound prepositions. And third one is here, prepositional phrases. This is how these prepositions were divided into. So what are these simple prepositions? What are these compound prepositions? And what are these prepositional phrases? Let's see them individually. So simple prepositions are the list what you are seeing here: till, on, over, down, off, up, at, until, by, from, with, to, through, over, etc. comes under simple prepositions. These are called as simple prepositions. And coming to the next one, which is said as compound prepositions. Compound prepositions are nothing but above, across, within, without, outside, beneath, along, among, below, amongst, inside, beyond, behind, before, yeah, without, outside, inside, beyond. So all these words comes under are called as compound prepositions. And the third one is here. I don't think that most of the people aware of these prepositional phrases, because when we write a letter, or when we write a report, or when we write an essay, or when we write a paragraph, or when we write what do you call that, a project report, we use these phrases. But nobody knows these phrases are called as prepositional phrases, or these are also considered as prepositions. See here, the prepositional phrases are, I have taken only a few. There are more, but I just to make you aware, so I took some of the examples. That's it. So the prepositional phrases are with reference to, in accordance with, along with, by means of, for the sake of, instead of, or in case of, on behalf of, in addition to, according to, so by means of. So all these are called as prepositional phrases. We all use them in this regard. So we all use them. But the problem is here, we don't know. They're also part and parcel of, they're also one of the types of prepositions. So now you people came to know about these things. Don't get confused when you're using them. Okay. So in the next slide, we're going to discuss, or we're going to see, or I'm going to tell you the regular prepositions that we use, where we have to use them, how we have to use them. That is what we're going to discuss in the slides coming. So when we go for examinations, they definitely ask you to have an exercise on this, or definitely they'll give you some 1 or 2 questions on these prepositions. So when you are doing that exercise, make sure you're not supposed to make it any mistake. Take it for granted. You're not supposed to make any mistake when you are taking the exam of prepositions, or when you are filling a blank which is related to these prepositions, because in the next slide onwards, you will come to know where we have to use this particular preposition. And not all the prepositions what you are seeing over here. So not all these things are going to be discussed. Only the things which we actually use them in our regular life. Only these things are in our daily life. So only these things are actually discussed in the slides to come. And see here, I don't know how many of you know, or how many of you are aware where to use this on. On is actually used. See here, on is actually used before the dates, days, and as well as specific days. So when we are talking about these things, we have to use on before them. We cannot place on in any other way. And also we can use this one for fixity. The wall is on the wall. For there, it's a fixing place. So for fixity also we can use on. So see the examples here. We will visit you on Sunday. As I told you, we place or we use preposition on before the names of days. So Sunday is the day, so that is the reason I have to place on Sunday. Sir, why don't we use any other article, any other preposition over there? You just try it. It doesn't. Oh, we don't have any objection for that. You just try. Can you place in Sunday? We will visit you in Sunday. Or will you? Can you say we will visit you from Sunday? Or do you say we will visit you for Sunday? Or do you say we will visit you with Sunday? Except this on, nothing is going to be placed before the days. So that's the reason we the one have to use this on before the days. And second one is here dates too. So I returned to my country on 24th November. We don't say I returned to my country in 24th November. We don't even say I returned to my country till 24th November. We don't even use any other preposition except on over there. So that is the reason we people supposed to be in the position to understand. That is the reason we people supposed to be positioned to understand the importance of these prepositions, and according to that context, we have to use them. So, and see one more example here. So we get together on Christmas Day. We get together in Christmas Day. We get together for Christmas Day. No, it's not. It's not at all. It's not going to make any sense. So, so that's the reason we have to place on only when we are discussing days, and as well as specific days. And let's move on to the next preposition. So I guess hope you all understood. I forgot to add one more point over here. That is, it is also used for fixity, as I told you earlier. Fixity, which cannot be moved from that place. For example, the wall, the clock is on the wall. So wall is not the clock is not going to be moved from there. So it's going to be a fixing place for that. So that's the reason. So whenever we are talking about the fixity, being fixity things, so we can also use this on there. And let's see, very frequent preposition that we use after on is in. Let's see where we're going to use this in. So in is used before months, years, centuries, seasons, and length of time, and also before the names of big towns. Make sure of that. See example, my birthday is in August. So whenever we are talking about months, make sure not my birthday is on August. No, you should not say like that, my dear. So please be careful. So we should say my birthday is in August. So August is the month. So according to our English rule, we have to place in before the names of months. And second one is here, whenever we are talking about years. So year is here 1912. So according to our rule, I have to place in the preposition before to that. So in 1947 we got independence. So whenever we are talking about years, don't forget to use in before to that. See here, the Titanic sank in 1912. So in the year 1912 it actually sank. So that is the reason whenever we are talking about years, so make sure the in supposed to be placed. And also when we are talking about centuries, see here, we are living in 21st century. We are living in 21st century. Why don't we place any other preposition? That is why I told you, my dear, every preposition has got its own importance. Every preposition has got its own importance, where you cannot replace that preposition with any other preposition. That is the problem here. That is the problem here. So that is the reason you're the one who's supposed to be in the position to keep this point in mind. So we are living in 21st century. And next, we go to the beach in summer. So summer is the season here. So we also use these in the preposition when we are talking about the seasons, and also when we are talking about length of time. See here, it will be ready in 20 minutes. So whenever we are talking about length of times, make sure we have to use the preposition over there. So, and before big towns. So I live in Kentucky. I live in Kentucky. So Kentucky is one of the states in United America. So there I actually live. So it is a big thing. It's a big area. So that's the reason I used in before to that. So this is how we actually use the preposition in. Next, see. On to the next slide. Excuse me. Yeah. Next is here. So we're going to see how are we going to use at, where we're going to use at. So at is actually used before, as you are seeing here, specific times and as well as a holiday period, small towns and villages. So before small towns and small villages, so in these areas we actually use the preposition at. So I wake up at 7 o'clock. So I'm talking about this particular time. So where I have to place this preposition at. Everyone seems happy at Christmas. The Christmas is a holiday period. So whenever we are talking about a holiday period, we have to place the preposition at. So you cannot place any other preposition here. I wake up in 7 o'clock. Do you say? I wake up for 7 o'clock. I wake up within 7 o'clock. I can wake up till 7 o'clock. No, you cannot place. You cannot place any other preposition, my dear. So next one, I live at Louisville in Kentucky. So Louisville is a small place. Louisville is a small place in Kentucky. So whenever we are talking about small countries or small towns or small villages or small places, make sure we have to use it. For example, I live at Panjagutta in Hyderabad. So Panjagutta is a small place. Panjagutta is a small place, whereas Hyderabad is a bigger one. It's a bigger one. So that's the reason I live at Panjagutta in Hyderabad. That is how I made. That is how we have to make the statements. So remember, at is actually used before a specific time and holiday period, followed by small towns and villages. In these areas, we actually use the definite the preposition at. And next one, very most of the people are getting confused when they are using these two things, which are beside and besides. Why they get confused? Because they seems to be very familiar. They are very similar to each other. So that's the reason people get often confused. The people actually often get confused when it comes to the usage of it. I'm telling you here, I guess after this talk, you won't get any confusions now onwards. Remember, first one is here beside and second one is besides. S is added here. So when you add beside, when you exclusively write or when you exclusively use beside, you remember one meaning. When you happen to use besides, the meaning entirely going to be changed. Make sure of that. The entire meaning is going to be changed. So for that sake, we have to be very careful when you are using them. So beside means what here? Beside means by the side of, next to, na pakkana, or something which is next to me. That is how it actually goes. So she sat beside me. We don't say she sat besides me. No. Ammo. It's a big mistake that we're going to make. She sat beside me. This is how we have to say. And the children were playing beside the river. We should not say besides the river. So remember. So when it comes to, sir, okay, what is the meaning of besides then? Besides means in addition to, having other thing. Not only one, but also the second, third, and fourth, whatever it may be. Having in addition to, or talking about some other thing too. For example, see here, I play cricket besides volleyball and tennis. What I told, I play cricket. Name cricket aadtanu besides. Adi maatrame kaakunda, not only that, in addition to. What else I'm going to play here? Volleyball and as well as tennis. Volleyball and as well as tennis. What if I'm going to place beside here in the place of besides? I play cricket beside volleyball and tennis. Now you tell me, you know the meaning of beside now. If I place beside here, how it's going to? It's not going to make any sense. So that's the reason we the people supposed to be careful what prepositions that we are using when it comes to especially these type of prepositions. Got it? And next, so the next preposition that we are seeing here is for. Where we have to use for. For is actually used in order to refer period of time. So whenever we are talking about period of time, we have to use for. See example here. I've been waiting for you for 2 hours. So 2 hours is a period of time. So that's the reason we placed the preposition for. My parents have been living in the USA for 17 years is what? Period of time. So remember one thing, whenever you are talking about a period of time, don't forget to use this for. And next one is here, since. So for is actually standing for a period of time. Since is actually used for point of time. Point of time is nothing but exact time will be given to you here. So here, she has not been talking to me since yesterday. How long she's not going to talk to you? Since yesterday. So we are giving the pinpoint. We are giving the exact time over here. So that is what yesterday. And I have been working in this college since 2018. How long I'm going to work? How long I've been working here? Since 2018. So I'm giving the accurate number or accurate date or accurate time. So whenever I'm talking about a point of time, make sure that we have to use since over there. And next one is here, next preposition that we actually use within. So where we have to use this, the preposition within. So it is used actually at the before the end of the given time. Normally before the deadlines, we actually use this within. So my brother will return from France within a week. So this is the end of a given time. So whenever we are talking about the end of a given time, we have to place within. We cannot exclusively use in. With supposed to be added to that. And next, she was asked to submit the assignment within 2 days. So that is the task, that is the deadline that she was given to. So whenever we are talking about the end of the given times, make sure we have to place within in that particular sentence. Our next one is here, till. We made as we get confused, as we got confusion, or as we're facing an ambiguity when we are discussing the prepositions beside and besides, most of the people do get confused when they are using till and until. Till and until. So till actually used for a simple time limit. So for simple time limits, we actually please wait for me till this evening. So till if I am using, you may wait or you may not wait. It doesn't make any sense, or I don't bother. But the thing is here, if I'm using the till or here, this is what the meaning that I'm going to convey. Until, when it comes to until is a conditional time limit. See the statement here, you cannot move an inch from here until my arrival. What if I'm going to move? So you're going to face the consequences. You have to pay the piper. You have to face the music. So when we are using until, make sure you are putting a condition. You are putting a condition to that person or in that sentence. But if you're using till, he can move or he may not move. It depends. It depends on the preposition that we actually use. And next one also, up to. Up to is also actually used for place and time limit. So see here, I went with her up to the airport. So we are, when I'm placing here the up to, it actually talking about the place, and sometimes it even talks about the time limit. So you can pay the installment. You can pay the installment up to 31st of this month. So you have time up to 31st of this month. You have time limit. So whenever we are talking about a particular place, and whenever you are talking about time limit, make sure you have to place the preposition up to over there. Moving on to very quite interesting thing, very quite interesting one, where most of us are getting confused when it comes to the usage of this one, off and off. Sometimes even when we write, we don't understand which off need to be written. Most of the time, this is the confusion that we actually get. So when people are getting off, when people are actually using off, we sometimes our mind flies somewhere. Which off I should use? So now you're going to understand which off he is talking about. This is what you're going to get out of this one. So normally OAFF, off actually used to refer separation, detach, separation. It's not going to be together, it's going to be separated. So whenever we are using OFF off, remember you're going to talk about this separation. For example, he fell off the horse. There is a separation between this guy and as well as the horse. So whenever you happen to see this separation, detachment, then you can use the preposition off over there. And the book fell off the table. So now here also. So whenever we remember, whenever we happen to see, or whenever we want to talk about this operation, don't forget to use this OFF off. Okay. And next one is here OF off. So see here, it is used. Why we have to use this OF off? Where we have to use this OF off? Here. So when we are talking about the positions, when we are talking about the cause, when we are talking about the source, when we are talking about the content, and when we are talking about the oppositions, we have to use OF off. Sir, how do we use those things here? This is how. This is the book of Wiki. So book is, whose book is this? Wiki. So this is actually talks about the possessive. The possessive is actually seen in the sentence. So this is the book of Wiki. So this book belongs to Wiki. So whenever we are talking about the possessions, we have to make sure we have to place the preposition of off. And next, the cause we are going to talk. He died of malaria. What is the cause? What is the reason behind his death? Is this malaria? He died of malaria. That is the cause. So whenever we are talking about cause, we have to place the preposition of over there. Next, the source. The ring is made of gold. How the ring is actually made? So it is made of gold. And next, he presented me bag of perfumes. So that is the content. So what is the content here? A bag of perfumes. So the perfume is a content over here. So that's the reason we placed off over here. So whenever we are using OF off, remember these are the things which are supposed to be taken into account to be used. So never ever get confusion when you are using this OF off and OF off. So most of some of prepositions are there, among and amongst and between. So among is actually used for two people. Among is actually used for two people. So there is a clash between, or there is a fight between two brothers. So how many people are there? Two. So whenever we are talking about two people, we have to use between. If it is more than two, then you have to use among. There was a clash between, there was a clash among three groups. How many groups are there? Three. So when we are talking about more than two, then you have to place among. There is one more word, there is one more preposition, that is amongst. Amongst is also used there, but most of the times we happen to use that before vowel sound. Okay, before vowel sound, this amongst mostly used. So don't get confused when you are actually used, or when you're actually asked to use these among, amongst, and this between. Okay, between is actually used before between two people, and among and amongst you used for more than two people. Amongst can be used for more than three people, and mostly when you happen to observe a vowel sound there, it actually happens to be seen. And also the prepositions are there, by and with. So by is actually doer of the action, and with is actually called for the instrument. For example, the lion was killed by Vicky. The lion was actually killed by Vicky. Who's the doer of the action? Vicky. So before the doer of action, we actually use by. So now I have to talk about the instrument over there, the tool which actually used to kill this lion. Okay, the lion was killed by Victor with the gun. So what is the instrument that I have used there? This gun. So whenever I'm talking about with the help of something, are the instrument names, before to them I have to use this with. So there are too many no prepositions that, as we have seen earlier in the previous slide. So we need to discuss those things, and it is we, the people, who are supposed to know the meanings of it. So then only we can able to use them perfectly, exactly, and appropriately when we write, when we speak, or when we go for any test. So this is what is all about the prepositions. So when you coming to the class, when you come to the class, we're gonna have a test after this topic. Remember one thing: whatever grammar topic that we are discussing, maybe in the class or through this one. So an example, an exercise will be given to you where you have to do it for your practice sake. Because, well, listen, you should not leave it. it should not go in vain. So to keep these things in your mind and heart, I usually conduct a test after each grammar topic. So after this one, we're gonna have a grammar topic. Sorry, an ex a call a small test where everybody has to take this one. Yeah. So if you still have any doubts regarding to this topic, prepositions, you can ping me on WhatsApp or just give me a call. Thank you.